Researchers from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology published a study just this month on the consequences of letting large language models write your essays for you, revealing that while AI can in fact boost productivity or the illusion of it, it may also diminish critical thinking and lead to lower academic integrity if that's even a thing. See, I graduated from my bachelor's June of 2022, which means I have been marked safe from depending on conveniently available artificial intelligence to get my degree. Until I went into my master's in 2023, where I witnessed my whole classroom, like students left and right, relying on ChatGPT for virtually anything. While I do admit it is easier to make a reviewer when you just plug and play instead of condensing raw material beforehand, it honestly saves up a ton of time compared to printing and writing and practically making whole books about it. But what's actually impressive is that I also witnessed a professor actually calling a girl out for copying her whole sociology exam from a crumpled up piece of paper with an essay that she got from ChatGPT on the first semester of my program. However, this isn't going to be a video about academic dishonesty. The world isn't fair enough for that, and most professors aren't even getting paid enough to care. This is going to be about consequences. This is your brain on ChatGPT. The researchers have been so thoughtful to include this how to read this paper section on page 5. Anyway, let's skip to the experimental design. The study had 54 participants, all from universities in the greater Boston area, including MIT, Wellesley, Harvard, Tufts, and Northeastern Uni. Group 1 is the LLM group, where they're only allowed to use OpenAI's GPT-4o, commonly known as ChatGPT, as their source of information in writing their essay. No usage of other browsers or search engines were allowed. Group 2 is the search engine group, where they were free to use any search engine to get information for their essay. They all used Google as their search engine of choice, and to enforce the rule of strictly no AI, they had to add -AI on their search queries to filter it out. Group 3 is the brain-only group who were left to the land of no
technology.
No AI nor search engines allowed, just a dream in a cardigan. Aside from connecting EEGs to the subjects when running the tests, the rest of the protocol is actually very interesting, so I'll just link the whole paper down below, public access for you to check out. All of this guinea pigging was done in just over 4 months and divided into 4 sessions. For the first 3 sessions, we have this discussion. Remember how all groups have the same main task, which was to write an essay using their assigned resources? Well, the brain-only group had the most variability in their approach against different essay topics, insinuating that people and their brains just naturally tend toward entropy. The LMM group, using just one OpenAI system, gave homogeneous responses in different fonts. Meanwhile, those who chose a specific search engine inevitably succumbed to its algorithmic biases driven by filters, keywords, and search optimization. So biases are, in conclusion, shaped by where we get our information. But honestly speaking, just how much of that information is truly ours? Can we really put a sense of ownership in the work that we made when we've had some kind of help? In the section of essay ownership and cognitive agency, the brain-only group almost unanimously claimed full ownership of their essays. The LLM group, however, exhibited the opposite. Some participants claimed full ownership, partial, or even none at all. This conflict says a lot about the ability of LLMs to generate passable essay-like work with or without human intervention after the prompt, and how passable the current state of AI is to these subjects who use it for submission, a criteria which is wildly subjective. The search engine group then showed more stable ownership patterns compared to the LLM group, the majority of which reporting partial ownership. Fair enough. Basically, this section is just how much we've convinced ourselves about the validity of our work. The brain named itself after all. And remember the EEGs? That's what they use to quantify and scientifically prove that when we depend on something else to think for us, our brains relax into a state of cognitive decline.
That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
We grow comfortable to the sense of convenience that trying eventually becomes tiring, and that putting in much effort isn't going to be worth it when you can just work smarter and not harder, right? Then the time comes when we've successfully convinced ourselves that we need to just work less harder. We need to put in less effort because simply we choose to work smarter. But this disregards the fact that eventually, as the same time still passes by, we'll just lose what we don't use, just like muscle. The brain is part of the same body. The LLM group may have achieved technical competency via AI, but their minds are just not as engaged in their work, leading to a lack of originality and depth, an imperfectness and spontaneity that makes something seem and feel human. Another interpretation is that over-reliance on AI can erode critical thinking and problem-solving skills, highlighting the importance of pure effort and just plain trying. So, in summary, the brain-only group were found to bring in shorter, more concise essays, but lower quality output checked by both AI and human judges. By the fourth session, the lanes were actually swapped. The then LLM group are now tasked into using their brain only. So what happened is, the new brain-only group exhibited both high memory recall and high strategic integration after spending all those 3 sessions with AI. My personal opinion is that they were to lose parts of their brains because they just solely depend on AI for writing their essays. But then when you think about it, these humans have actually been subconsciously learning about what a good essay should be like using tried and tested methods fed to and then given by AI. But using the EEGs connectivity-wise, the performance of the LLM to brain session 4 was just subpar to the peaks observed from brain-only session 3, meaning that they used their brains less, though they did have better output overall. This same OG LLM group were also the ones who resorted to mostly copy and pasting by session 3, which was just prior to the swap. And then this new LLM group, which was the former brain-only group, then exhibited the same high memory recall from their sessions, but with less strategic integration, probably since technology needs some getting used to, and a higher directed connectivity from the EEG findings compared to all OG LLM-only sessions. This overall helped them have a better means of integrating their content, synergizing with technology after exercising their brains first when they were left with only themselves to work with. So, what does all of this tell us? Repeated essay writing without AI was found to be an effective exercise in strengthening brain connectivity, reflecting an increased involvement of memory, language, and executive control networks. While using AI can be a helpful tool in learning, what does this study say about using AI in education? Well, it's all about habits. While AI can be helpful for academic support like making flashcards, reviewers, condensing a 221-slide presentation because doing it by hand is just so tiring, there's still a trade-off between immediate convenience and the long-term skill development because our neural pathways become less engaged when we, for the most part, just rely on LLMs. And now we've come to the conclusion that it really is all about the balance. Knowing our strengths and filling in our gaps by utilizing the tools made available to us. AI has great potential in handling routine aspects, like objective ones that one can easily learn by the book. Meanwhile, core cognitive processes like idea generation, organization, and critical revision still remain duties of man. Remembering that the core duty of the brain is to just generate ideas, not necessarily to store it. So with utilizing current man-made technology together with our abilities as human beings, we can harness potential benefits of AI support without impairing the natural development of the brain's wiring-related networks. Truly working smart is just using your brain right. That's all. Stay healthy and goodbye.